Ladies and gentlemen, Vince here. I'm diving into some more reward apps today to see if they're actually worth the time and effort. Hope you enjoy. First of all, we have a new app called CashDonut. And this is what it looks like when you first launch it up. Top of the screen, you have an account balance of coins. You can see here I have 1,061. To the right of that, we have our bonus area. You see, CashDonut will give you like these little tiny percentages of increases to various features of the game. Like for instance, you can see here we have 0.5% to a bonus increase, 0.5% to a cashback, and 0.5% of a discount. And you can also get 5 extra bonuses per day by watching 5 separate ads. These cards actually appeared after my first withdrawal, which we'll talk about in a moment. Now, when it comes to the actual reward area, here in Australia, I only have the PayPal currency available, and the minimum is 1 single cent for 300 of the coins. This goes all the way down to $15, everyone, for 360,000 of the coins. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, 1 cent is actually really good, but in reality, once you actually find out the earning pace, at least here in Australia, you may have a different opinion. You see, everyone, CashDonut actually runs on a playtime reward system, and this can either be a per minute system or the task-based system. In case you don't want to take the time to break down the currency, $10 is 250,000 of the coins. So puzzles and survival is roughly giving like $8 to $9, and the same with Raid Rush. And these offers may take weeks to even a month or more to complete, at least in my opinion. One positive is that the games are actually pretty fun that they have on there, alright? But again, unless you have your expectations realistic, you're probably going to be disappointed with the next part I'm going to tell you. I played both titles combined for around 2 hours or so, and you're probably thinking, okay, for 2 hours of gameplay, that should be a pretty decent amount of coins, right? Sadly, that is just not the case here in Australia. At the end of my testing, I was only rewarded 20 cents for that time played, everyone. But I am happy to say I withdrew that 20 cents and it did arrive to my PayPal account within about 10 minutes or so. So that was good to see. So while I do appreciate their little bonus system here to try and give you a little bit of a percentage boost to your withdrawals, here in Australia, CashDonut really needs to be improved with the selection of games and the amount of coins rewarded, at least in my opinion. Anyway, that's my review of CashDonut. You can do whatever you want with that. Let's move on to the next app. Next up, we have a little app called Bingo Angel. And this is what it looks like when you launch it up. Top of the screen, you have your Coinbase balance, which is just for in-game items. Underneath that, you have your in-game activities. And straight away, we get hit with an ad. So yes, everyone, this does have the intrusive ad system, which means ads every single 30 to 60 seconds, no matter what you're doing. Now, with the daily task area, you can get bingo cards, the gems, as well as the Coinbase currency. You have a shop here as well, where you can buy the bingo cards or watch an ad to get 4 of them. Then you have another one of these little lucky scratch systems, which in my opinion, everyone, are only really there just to get you to watch the ads anyway. Bottom of the screen, you have your gem-based currency, as well as a 3-hour timer, and a supposed PayPal currency. There's another ad. Now, you can have up to 4 cards at once, but realistically, 1 will be enough. In fact, this is what the actual bingo portion looks like. You guys probably know all how to play bingo out there, so I'm not going to bother wasting your time. If you don't know, you simply just select the numbers that come up at the top of the screen. It really doesn't take a rocket scientist. These little critters at the bottom will help you select numbers as well with different multipliers. A lucky wheel system will appear as well randomly throughout your progress. It's going to try and get us to watch an ad to earn the in-game gems. And of course, that's needed for the supposed PayPal currency. There's also a little floating chest, same exact concept, watch the ad, get the gems. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how'd the actual earning experience go? Well, everyone, I started off my test at 2 hours and 51 minutes with 0 gems. I then played all the way down to 1 hour and 29 minutes, and I managed to generate 63,927 gems. And that converted into 8 cents worth of USD currency. So around an hour and a half or so for 8 cents. Good news is, everyone, though, that yes, I did withdraw that 8 cents worth of USD, and it did arrive to my PayPal account within about 5 minutes. So that was, again, nice to see all in all. So at the end of the day, I feel like only a small portion of people are actually going to have any use for something like this. But again, you guys can do whatever you want with the information. That's just my review. Just quickly wanted to mention, if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Next up, we have an app called Frosting Burst. So this one's actually pretty trippy, everyone, and I mean this in the way of, even though it looks like it's going to be a certain aesthetic, it's completely different than what the photos show, and it changed while I was actually testing it as well. This is what it looks like at the moment, and this is what it looked like initially, okay? You can see it looks completely different with the dessert type of theme going on, so I have no idea what happened there. Although I will say this probably has one of the most annoying ad systems possible. Every single minute, you're going to be seeing an ad no matter what, okay? So get get ready for that. But the whole concept of this game is to simply match the same colored balls together. It really is very easy, okay? Again, most of these little play to earn applications all have the same concept these days. Like on the right side of the screen, you have your gem-based currency, your 3-hour timer, and of course the supposed PayPal currency. At the bottom of the screen though, you do have these holes that will give you some extra currency if you land the balls into them, as well as your in-game items. You also have a floating gift. All this does is bring up an ad prompt for a tiny fraction of gems. So again, I'm not going to bore you too much, everyone. I'm sure you guys understand how these apps work, alright? I will say the task-based system does give a fraction of the gems as well, so keep that in mind. But literally anytime you bring up any type of menu, an advertisement will appear, so get ready for that. So for today's test, I had 1 hour and 26 minutes left on the timer. I played for a little bit over an hour, everyone, and I generated 10,028 of the gems. And surprisingly, that converted into 26 cents USD, which on the scale of things with these little 3-hour applications, this is definitely on the higher end, which is very interesting. I wonder how it's going to be in your own country. I am happy to say, everyone, these developers actually did come through this time because I managed to cash out that 26 cents USD and receive it within about 30 minutes or so, which sadly in the past these developers have been very flaky, so I just want to make that clear here. Anytime you see this layout, everyone, it's the same developer, so keep that in mind. So at the end of the day, we have 1 hour of testing converting into 26 cents USD. Now whether or not you think that's good, that's completely up to you, but at least now you know about it. Let's move on. Next up, we have TestPlay. Now, this is what TestPlay looks like when you launch it up. Top of the screen, you have your gem-based currency. You can see I have 267 right now. And at least here in Australia, I have 2 separate games available that I can play and test. One's called Green Block Blast, which apparently has a huge prize pool of almost $500,000, which I just don't think is realistic at all. And underneath that, we have Circle Shaped Sort for $100,000 or so. Again, very unrealistic in my opinion. Why they say these prize pools, I have no idea. If they actually did generate that, that's insane, which I really doubt, but that's beside the point. TestPlay's daily reward area is really where the bulk of the application lies, everyone. So even though, of course, you have the games you have to test, realistically, in my opinion, the whole thing is ran on advertisements watched. At least here in Australia, the minimum cash out is 30 cents worth of currency, but interesting enough, it was 20 cents and it was initially 10 cents. So each time the reward was claimed, it actually went up by 10 cents. It's a very weird system. Here in my country, though, I had the PayPal withdraw option as well as a donate button. So the 2 games that I had available were very straightforward. Nothing really to them. You can see that it gives you a little notification when you get some gems. The more testing you do, the more advertisements you see, which means the more gems you clock up in the background. All things considered, compared to the other 3-hour play to earn applications, this one isn't the worst I've seen, but at least here in Australia, I'm looking at around 15 cents per hour of gameplay. Now in total, I've generated 3,277 of these gems. Under the actual redemption history here, I can show you that they have a bonus pool, which apparently will give you extra bonuses every day, as well as my withdrawal history. So the last time I withdrew, other than today's video, it was 10 cents worth of currency, which did arrive. For today's video, I did withdraw 20 cents worth of currency, and it did arrive within about 2 days, everyone. So at least they did come through this time. And the reason why I say this time is because these developers are pretty unknown in my opinion, and you really can't make any certain guarantees. But at least at the time of this recording, TestPlay did come through for me. I've got no idea how it's going to behave in your own country though, so always keep that in mind. All I can do is share my own experience and hands-on testing. Next up, I want to mention a new update that's just been released for Gem Racer. So everyone, I'm sure by now most of you guys have heard of Gem Racer. It's a little application I put together for testing purposes and to actually give back to my little Discord community as well. Recently, I've added a little balance system now. The more you race, you actually get straight up currency in the gem form, which then you can actually redeem on the Discord itself. Now, this is a completely separate system from the Super Gem tournament, okay? So you still get to compete against each other to become the Super Gem champion, which on the screen right now has the rewards that you'll get if you rank first, second, or third. All you need to do to earn these racer gems is simply survive the drive. So what that means is avoid all the hazards and try and survive as long as you can. And in the background, you're generating these little racer gems. Then you simply join the Discord and you read the guide that's on there. It's very straightforward, everyone. Now, there is the in-game shop with various skins. You can purchase these skins with the gems that you pick up while driving, or you can simply spend real currency in order to actually increase the leaderboard prizes at the end of the month. You can find a link to Gem Racer in the description below. Check out my channel for almost 1,000 reviews. Stay safe out there.